Alright, fellow car modelers, thank you for coming back for part 2. Boy, I got a really great bunch of comments on the first part of this video. I'm really glad you guys are liking this idea. Getting some really good positive comments. I've got my cold coffee here. It's really early in the morning, Sunday morning. Thank you. And we are continuing on. I'm having a lot of fun. My next part, we had an issue with trying to put that dashboard in. And the steering wheel from the original builder kind of had it cocked in there a little wrong. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this firewall in first. So let me get set up and get my glues ready to go. And like I always do, I'm going to be using a lot of CA glues with the accelerant because it just makes for a quick putting back together. And I put my little piece of tape right here, and I got it in camera view this time. I'm going to be using the last of my zap. I still got so much in here. I try to get smaller bottles, but because I don't know, I never use up a whole bunch of glue, and this one's starting to get really thick. And so at Andy's the other day, this is the stuff I really like to use, and it was hard to get a hold of back when I bought this. And I'm really looking forward to start using that. But, you know, I kind of am like, well, I still got a lot of this glue left, so I'm going to try to use this. But if we have trouble, we might have to start switching over to the Maxi Cure from the Bob Smith Industries product. I really like that product. I've said it a zillion times. So I put dab down. And, of course, let's pop this open. I'm going to need a little tool here to help. Let's get... I've showed this. I like getting this foam stuff. It keeps, you know, I can stick other things in there that I use for my glue applicating. And with it being kind of spongy, I can squeeze it as I'm dropping the stuff on here. I don't know if you can see it offline, off the screen. So I'm getting a dab there for me to be able to just take my toothpick I got right there and dab in and hit the spots that need to be hit. So we've got our accelerant ready to rock. I got slightly open. Someone did ask on a comment the product I use, and they may have not seen in other videos, but it is all Bob Smith Industries. And I have said that this is the best accelerant in the business. It really is. It doesn't stink. It doesn't do damage to anything. I never had a problem with it having any problem on painted parts or even clear if it gets unclear. So, and I just take the little spray nozzle it comes with. I never spray on, and I just use that for my applicator. So that was asked too. I used to have these fancy applicators, but that just works fine. So I just loosen up the cap and leave it sitting there and hope I don't forget to screw it back on before, you know, I close up shop. So, well, let's not waste any more time. We're going to look at that. A lot of the when this thing came apart, a lot of the little pegs in the holes, they didn't put glue in them. So luckily, a lot of this stuff is still there. Sometimes when you take an old kit and you start breaking it apart, you lose all that, and then you got to kind of fiddle around with how you're going to fit it in. So we can go right into those holes right there and go right up against where we want. I probably should have put some glue there too. I take that accelerant and I drop it in there, and it'll probably keep me holding. And definitely for doing these rebuilds when you're just kind of putting a busted up model back together, it's not really building a model. It is and it isn't, you know, it's kind of a fun thing, but this is the preferred glues. I really like to bring in, like I did earlier, I still really love this stuff. I think this is a great stuff for when you're building a model right out of the box there, or, you know, taking it from the box as a fresh new model, and you got clean plastic parts that fuse together. Speaking, let's go ahead and put this on. This is something that if I can actually use the Tamiya quick setting, I'd rather use that because of this busted piece here. I really would like to kind of fuse the plastic. I want to do a test fit here. I'd like to see how it'll all fit. I think I'm going to use a combination of different glues. Let's get this up to here, so we're in the middle of the camera. Is we'll go ahead and put that stuff we'll do with the quick setting, with the CA glues for really fast setup with the accelerant. Stick that through the firewall. Put that down there. Now we've got issues, so I think I got it right where I want it. Let's zap it in place. Alright. Whew. Now, for that part right here, since it's busted off, and we got another busted off part, and I think I have the piece for that. Let's look around. I might be missing that piece. Oh well. Hopefully I can hold it together and it'll bond. Just kind of fuse together. That's what we want to happen. Counting, and then meanwhile, while I'm holding that, so I really don't want to put a clamp on this. Stuff's really delicate. I don't think I have this piece. I think it's missing, which is, that's a bummer, but oh well. We just put together what we have left over from this build, and look at that. There we go. Still fusing together as we speak, but you know, we've got to get that dashboard in. And these dashboards were just basically laid in there. And that is where this is going to go. See what I'm doing? I'm dropping these out, and that dashboard's in. Perfect. Yay! Yay! I got it in there. Oh, cool. It's in there. Yeah, got it in there right where I want it to. Awesome. Gotta love that CA glue with the accelerant when you're doing something like that. We've got a whole bunch of parts here to go on. Sometimes when you look at old built up, and you can see spots where things were glued in, so it'll tell you where it probably should go. Drop our glue in the spots. I think that's where it goes. I'm doing an educated, uneducated guess. Wrecking a hobby since 1988, but I started in 1984. Building model cars, seriously. Zap that. There we go. Put a little more glue on this one. Not really ever going to be displaying this with the hood open. Not necessary. But if I have it, I'm putting it on. Like this, I believe. One never knows where that goes. Does anyone know where that goes? That looks like the lower radiator hose. Yeah, okay. Let's put the engine in. We're going to try to just go ahead and put my dab of glue right there. Just get things rolling. Hopefully this will go smooth. I still got that one side exhaust in, but I think I can get this all to fit in there. The other exhaust is still in there. Oh, I should have done it before I put that front piece on, but there we go. We are in. We are good. I think that'll do the job right there. There it is. Engine in. Ooh. We're looking like a race car here. Put these shocks, get them mounted to the best that they can be. There we go. Snap right into place because the old hardened glue, put it right back where it originally was. That's the thing, is like a lot of times when you bust these apart, and you know, the glue will crack, and it's kind of like a puzzle piece that fits together, so the pieces will go right where the original builder put them, and that's fine. And it might not be quite right, but like I said, I'm catching the essence of this original builder. I want this thing as best it can be the way that person built it. Let's put this petty bar in. It goes, where's that? Oh, there we go. And we'll put that right there. Zap it. Moved a little, but there we go. It's in place. Let's go ahead and put this piece on. This thing, does it need some cleanup? Maybe a little. Just do a little bit. Yeah, it's getting a little bit of that. I said 40-year-old dust in the first part, but it's really 50-year-old dust, isn't it? So do a test for that. That's where it goes. That's where we'll put it. Alrighty. That's where the original glue was. I'll just put it right there, where they originally had it glued, just on those two ends. And I think that will do the job for us. I'm going to put it right in the original glue marks, right there, and blast away. Putting it all right where it used to be. Why not? We've got these down bars. I don't know if I have all of them. Look at this. This one's all in pieces. This one is not. So we'll put the one that's all together. Looks like they bent it around to fit the battery. See how that's going? That's where that goes. Put our dab of glue right there. And there we go. And we got our happy little down bars. Yay! Look at that. Look at that, how the original builder just had this all kind of bent and fit into place, because there's the other glue mark was right there, just so they get the battery in the spot. And we can take our happy little glue blobs to help hold everything together. Isn't that nice? Look at this. It's really starting to look like a complete model car. I'm really enjoying this. This is fun. So next, this is going to be kind of a trip. We gotta kind of piece things together and figure out what goes where. That looks like a fit, so we'll do that. Heck, I'll just take that and let it touch right in there. Probably would be nice to just use the Tamiya so it fuses the plastic together instead of just, gluing it together. But I need 3 hands, so let's get my third hand. I don't know if you see this. I got a little, I don't know if it'll work for me. I've got a alligator clip that's attached to a deal right here. If you can see it right there, and it's attached to my table there, so it gives me a third hand. It's kind of out of the picture. This together, and it's not beautiful, but it is what it is. We're just getting that full down bar all together. Yep, and then everything goes together. This we might be able to get away with. Let's see. Put our glue there. And we can get our happy little down bar into place, and you can see things aren't quite fitting. Zap that sucker. Now I'm going to take where that little break is right there. I'm going to take the Tamiya glue and just let it flow in there, and that'll fuse that plastic together, and that little down bar will be nice and strong. And it's not 100% perfect, but we've got it back there, so we'll see it through the back window. That's important. Let's see, we've got radiator to deal with a lower radiator hose. Probably should have done this before I put all the other stuff in, but well, hindsight's 20/20. Is that what it is? Is that the saying? We'll just get it in there. I kind of broke a fan blade, but oh well. I just want that in there. Okay. And there we go. Trying to get that where it originally was. It's a little difficult, but I think we can throw a little glue right there. It's not beautiful, but it gets it in place. Because we want the radiator in there. I just want everything in. I'm going to try to fix that fan blade that broke. Totally broken off, so before it completely breaks away, hopefully I can get it into place. There it is, and throw our magic little pixie dust, or liquid magical pixie dust, and boom, there it is. It is solid. Looks like I lost the lower radiator hose, the upper radiator hose. Radiator hoses, we may have to fudge a little on this because some things aren't totally lining up the way they should. Here we go. It's kind of like, yeah, the radiator is in the exact proper location. It wasn't put in originally in the right location, so that radiator hose is just kind of laying on top of it. I think we got something that covers that up anyway, so we will be fine. And it's on. Bam! Little cowl placement on your finish. So we've got that engine in. We got to figure out the front wheels too. We've got this part here. This is what I was talking about. This is the fan shroud basically, and that goes right there. So we're going to put that in its place, and that will cover up all the monstrosity under there. It's kind of a nice aesthetic. And look at that. It's on there. So we have some issues. There's little tanks here and stuff. The oil filter. And we'll go ahead and put that oil filter on because that's a pretty visible thing. And there's the spot where it goes. I don't know. Maybe that tank goes on that other side. Yeah, we'll put them on. We have them. We should put them on. It's what the original builder did. So we're going to do that. We're sticking to that. All the little tricky dick jobby dob things. Hold it in its place. Do the dabbing, and there we go. Take a little bit of glue, put it on that spot. Get our overflow tank. These MPC kits, though, I gotta say, I would buy these things, you know, especially when you could find really cheap, the 80s ones that nobody wanted, that had all these really cool little parts that were awesome to use with the monogram kits. You had a lot of these little accessory tanks, and the oil filter right there I used to use a lot on some of my monogram builds. The contingency stickers in those were like really small, and there was an STP one that I used to put on the oil filters. That was something that Bill Coulter did in one of his articles in Scale Auto, and that was pretty cool, so I did it. It gave a cool look. Alright, so we've got everything on the engine, and we've got this drive shaft to put in, which is really easy. It just slides in. It's totally adjustable. Get the glue on there. See if we can find the sweet spot where it will set. And whammo, it is in place. Yep. So we got our drive shaft in. So here we go. We got some tricks to do with the front end. So that we've got missing parts. I don't have the one spindle. This spindle's kind of really busted apart where it won't even fit in there. So I'm going to be doing some cheating, and I figured out how I could just put glue there, and just glue this front tire on. If I can get it right in the correct spot. And that's what I'm going to do. Oops, I'm off screen, so sorry about that. So that's about where that's going to go. I want this wheel and tire to be on the driver's side. So what we do is I'm really, look at that. See, we going too fast and I lost a part. We'll deal with that later. I'm going to just really glob the glue on there and do this accelerant little trick, and hopefully we can have this wheel and tire right where we want it. This is really intense. It's kind of not working for me. Yeah. Alrighty, all my fellow car modelers. You might notice that this, from the last scene you just saw, I'm complete now all of a sudden. This is one of the heartaches of being a YouTuber and doing build videos. This is one of the reasons why I don't do build videos, because I've had this happen many times. You run out of memory on your card and your camera doesn't want to let you know that because you're busy building. So we lost a lot of neat stuff, so I'm going to go over what I did. I had to take a little bit, about an hour break from doing this, because holy cow, when I discovered it, was I frustrated and kind of lost my mind. Anyway, so we went ahead and from what I saw looking at the last video footage I had, I was still putting things together. We've got everything together. I'll just show you the little things I had to do to make up for the missing parts. To get these wheels and tires on, I basically just glued them onto the control arms. That's all there was with the upper and lower control arm, and I just glued them into place and made sure everything is sitting and it doesn't teeter. You know, we still got that. The wheel I may later on paint. I was going to paint it red, but for now at least we got a wheel in there, but I can remove that. It's not glued in if I choose to paint it later. So at this point we're going to go on to having a third part, because this has gone long enough for this episode and we've got the chassis all done. Third part will be getting this body all cleaned up, looking nice, and get this whole model together, and we have a beautiful piece to put onto the shelf. Really pleased to have this all together. I'm really pleased how it went back together and is pretty solid. That's wonderful. You saw that pile of parts, and there we got it together. This was fun. I had a good time rebuilding this thing, putting it back together. It's looking really good. What do you guys think? You know, cleaned up a bit, all in its original built glory. Let's flip that around. We got ourselves a cool looking old MPC race car. We'll get this body cleaned up in the next episode and this thing all put together, and we'll put it up on the shelf and just enjoy it. So I want to thank you all for watching this. I really appreciate all of you guys, the comments you have said on the first episode and on Facebook. This has been a great reception of this idea of this new show, and everybody really enjoyed this build. I didn't know how it would go over, and I'm pretty pleased to see how many people really liked this and really enjoyed it, and I definitely will do many more. So you know what we say here. This is me, Lucas C. Go out and glue those fingers together and keep cutting that styrene. And we'll see you in the next video, and here are my producers. Do I look beautiful? Is this thing on?